Hello people, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in the last video we talked about data cleaning by removing missing rows or by replacing missing rows by using the case SQL keyword or qualys SQL keyword. So today we're going to talk about how we can work on duplicate rows. So you expect that your data might be having duplicate due to human errors or computer errors. So we're going to do this demo by illustrating with a simple table called the students DB. That one, I already created that table. This is the table I created for this illustration. So looking at this table on row number 1 for student ID 11, you can see that Jonah and Fabian. And for row number 5, student ID 15, we have Jonah, Fabian. And row number 6, student ID 16, we have Jonah, Fabian. So this shows that, okay, Jonah, Fabian was duplicated 3 times in this particular table. And then looking at row number 3, student ID 13, Azama Kweku. So row number 7, and student ID 17, Azama Kweku. So this particular student's name or information was duplicated 2 times in this database. So what happened is that if this is a larger table that we have millions or thousands of rows, so we don't want to we're not able to check this manually. So we can be able to do that using a simple SQL query by selecting. So what we do is that we select the first name, the last name, we select the country and gender, then we count. From students DB, we can just select just the first name and last name. I think that's okay. And then we can say group by first name and last name. Then having our counts to be greater than 1. So if we go ahead and run this query here, we will be able to see that we have Jonah Fabian duplicated 3 times and Azamakeko appearing twice on this table, right? Now the other thing that we want to do is that we want to be able to use a particular SQL keyword called the distinct keyword to select distinct rows. So we don't want to have duplicate rows on this schema, right? So the first thing is that you get rid of this, right? And then when you run this, you see that we have duplicates for Jonah and Asamoah. So once you come here, and then the distinct comes immediately after the select statement. So you should select distinct, and then you have this information without duplicates like this. Another thing that we can do to get rid of duplicates in entries or input in our table is that we want to try to detect where the duplicate values are appearing on our table and then get rid of them. So the first thing I want to do here, I want to select maximum, let's say maximum student ID as max ID, right? Sorry, this max ID from students DB, right? Then from here, another thing I want to do again is that I want to group by the first name, the last name. I want to group by country and gender, right? Then once I run this code here, I will have this. So maximum ID for where our data was not duplicated here, it shows that we have row 14, 17, 16, and 12, right? Now you may want to know what 14, 17, and 12 rows are, and then you come and say from students DB, highlight this, and then run this. 14, 16, 17, 12. So we have Annabelle, Tom, 16, Jonah, Fabian, 17, Azamoah, Kweku, and 12. So these are the rows that we want to keep. It's just saying we want to keep, we want to be able to keep these rows and then get rid of any duplicates, right? So we are going to do the removal using what we called, subqueries. Subqueries. So to do this using subqueries is very, very simple, right? The first thing we need to do, we have to select our entire entry here. Select our entire entry from student DB, right? So once we select our entire entry from student DB, the next thing we want to do now, we want to include a where clause, right? So we want to say where our students DB dot student ID not in select. No, we are selecting, we're adding our aggregate function here. So maximum student ID, right, from, you already guessed, right, student DB here. Then from here we have the group by. So we want to group by every other thing that we didn't select, which is the first name, the last name, country, and gender. So having written this query, we go ahead and run this. So we have 11, 13, 15. So these are the rows that we want to get rid of from our table. So once we're able to get rid of these particular rows on our table, then we are sure that we don't have duplicate rows anymore. So to do this, we are going to use a particular SQL syntax or keyword called delete. So for me to use the delete, we go ahead and copy this query at the top and then we paste it here, right? So let's go ahead and comment on this. So it is always good to use select before delete, because it's good to select it so that you know you are actually picking out the right rows that you want to get rid of. Because sometimes when you don't select the actual rows, you might get rid of data that might be useful to you, and that will actually cause issues, or such as data losses on your database. So you don't want to be found on that, especially you are working on production data. You have to be very, very careful so you don't affect production data. So here you come ahead and say delete from, right? Sorry, delete. Great. So delete from student DB where this. So the only thing we just change is that we change the select asterisk to delete from, and that's all. And then we are good to go. So once we run this, you can see that 3 rows have been affected, which are the 3 rows that we want to get rid of. Now, once we go ahead and comment this, and then we come here, and then we select from students DB. Then we run this, we can see that we have this. So there are no missing values anymore on our table. We have Morgan, Annabelle, Jonah, and Azamoah, all unique entries. If you like this video, please click on your like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll be dropping more content on SQL and data analytics. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.